无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I've come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning. Good evening, everyone. This evening, I'm very happy to introduce you Dharma Master Hansen. She's in the same generation with me. Sen means carefulness. She's very delicate, and she has been a nun for how many years? 19 years. She's from Taiwan, and she graduated from Dharma Buddhist University. And right now, her responsibility at the City of 10,000 Buddhas is donation department. A lot of people who come to the monastery, they don't know how to create merit, they don't know how to liberate their ancestors or help the karmic collectors. They come to the donation department and ask for her advices. She's very experienced, and her practice is great compassion, Dhamma door. So I hope you will have questions for her, because it's very rare to have her here. So Dharma Master Sen will speak first.
Good evening, everyone. Amitabha. First, I have to apologize my English. I have very poor English, so if I cannot speak very clearly, and maybe Zhe Fashi can help me. Okay, the entire Avatamsaka Sutra mostly is introduce the Bodhisattva's mind, Bodhisattva's vow, and the kanda of Bodhisattva. For on the Bodhisattva path, we cannot practice without the Avatamsaka Sutra. If a Bodhisattva on his cultivation way, one should learn the Avatamsaka Sutra to develop their mind and to vigorous on the way. So now we are at the 10th ground, right? I have a question for you. How many of you already taken the Bodhisattva Precepts? Oh, that's a lot. Okay. For usual way, if a Bodhisattva taken the Bodhisattva Precepts for 10,000 kalpa, then the Bodhisattva will entering to the 10th dwelling position. That's for usual way. But if you cultivate very vigorous, maybe you can go fast. So for the 10th ground, that is very high level. It's a sage level. So it's very far from us. For us now to learn the 10th ground, just as the kindergarten, to learn the university text. So, but it's still very help for us to know how the Bodhisattva cultivate and how their mind and their vow. So now we are on the fourth one, and at beneficial, right? Beneficial mind and dear God. Oh, so the mind is blind. 所以在调正心 and according. Oh, the next is.
Please turn to page 15. We are on page 15.
So.
Okay, let's read the text first, starting from Chinese. We'll read the Chinese text first. Okay, on the second paragraph. Okay, 佛子，此菩萨随所起方便慧，修习于道，即住道分，如是而得润泽心、柔软心、调顺心、利益安乐心、无杂染心、求上上圣法心、求殊胜智慧心、救一切世间心、恭敬尊德无为教命心、随所闻法皆善修行心。Okay, English. Disciples of the Buddha, through the wisdom of expedient means, this Bodhisattva uses in its cultivation of the way and the factors that the way. He thus obtains a kind and nourishing mind, a compliant and yielding mind, a mind of blending and according, a mind of service and making happy, an undefiled mind, a mind of seeking the very highest supreme Dharma, a mind of seeking supreme wisdom, a mind of rescuing all worlds, a mind of revering honored virtuous ones and not opposing teachings and instructions, and a mind of according with the Dharma he has heard and skillfully cultivating all of it. Okay, so last week we stopped at a compliant and yielding mind. So basically this paragraph talking about the bodhisattvas on the fourth ground cultivate these 10 kinds of minds, and the general overall of the quality is a kind and nourishing mind. And this second one, a compliant and yielding mind, the reason why the bodhisattva would have a compliant and a yielding mind is that the bodhisattva has a very supreme practice. And so remember, from the third ground, the bodhisattva already attained samadhi. Okay, and that samadhi, the bodhisattva, he or she realized the Dharma and have samadhi, so everything is agreeable. This bodhisattva feels at ease. And from that samadhi, the bodhisattva could be always feel peaceful. And that's why someone could have compliant and yielding mind. If we don't have samadhi, we are challenged by the difficult situations or difficult people, that to be compliant, to yield to other people's needs, to yield to other people's condition, it's very hard, right? This bodhisattva already has samadhi. What does samadhi mean? Samadhi means this person will not move and feel comfortable, feel okay in any kind of conditions. This person is okay. So we read this text very easily. A compliant and yielding mind. It's very hard, especially when you know somebody who is inexperienced, who is younger, who is inferior, in a low position, and this bodhisattva can yield to that person with any kinds of a situation. It's hard. Venerable Master, when he talked about patience, it's okay to practice patience, but it's especially hard to practice with someone who is inexperienced, who didn't know anything. But you still respect the potential, the potentiality of this person, and you still respect the nature that we all came from the same origin, and so you give that space for this person to develop, so you can yield. I don't want to show that I know everything. I don't want to show I'm better than you. I'm more capable than you are. I'm wiser than you. I'm more experienced than you. No, a bodhisattva yield to anybody, and also be compliant and yield to any kind of condition. For these two minds, from the commentary of the National Master Qing Liang, he talked about basically this is the substance. These are the qualities of the bodhisattvas who are on the fourth ground. Their character is that they always want to be beneficial, so they can be kind and nourishing. I cherish your roots. The reason why we are here, we are together, because of your roots, and you are willing to come to the monastery to study the Buddha Dharma. Okay, I want to nourish the roots of goodness in you. So I want to, give whatever you could take, and with my best, and trying my best to do that. And even though you are rude, not you, even though this person is rude or very ignorant, but the bodhisattva is okay. They feel very comfortable to be with people like that. So the bodhisattva could be compliant and yielding. This is hard, right? Remember the 6 great guidelines at the City of 10,000 Buddhas. The first one is no fighting. Why a practitioner can practice no fighting? Yeah. Why would he yield? Right. The self, the perception of the self is really troublesome. It's problematic. Because of the idea of the self, how can I tolerate that? How can I see that happen? And we have lots of comments. But the bodhisattva on the fourth ground, their quality is that, so they can be compliant. They yield to other beings. So following is the text that we need to study for tonight, and so the third one is a mind of a blending and according. Okay, a mind of a blending and according. This shows in any kind of conditions for the bodhisattva, there's no obstacles. There is free of obstacles, and the bodhisattva feel at ease. So harmoniously blending and skillfully according with all kinds of conditions from living beings. So the bodhisattvas are attuned to mingle, to blend, to work with anybody, okay, and not being obstructed by circumstances. The reason why they are able to free of obstructions, obstacles coming from the circumstances, they have been at ease in samadhi. And so I think living or practicing in a big monastery like the City of 10,000 Buddhas, we have a lot of chances to practice this. Try to blend yourself and according to the Dharma, according to the conditions. It is very hard, especially when, big events are coming, and a lot of the preparations that we need to do, like the recent years. Last year we had a 50th anniversary to commemorate Venerable Master coming to the West, and a lot of activities going on. And to accommodate all kinds of a performance and activities, the staff for the sounding system, they have to, be very patient, and they have to allow conditions to happen. There was a big test. And later, one of the volunteers, he shared his experiences not to get upset during those, crucial moments. And if your temper is out of control, there will be a lot of challenges to come and to obstruct the way. So why would experience obstructions? Why there are obstacles? Maybe you can think about, in the past, when you had difficulties, when you have obstructions, prevent you to do something, prevent you to realize your expectation, your dreams. What happened? Did those obstacles really coming from outside? What do you think? There will be always difficulties and challenges coming from outside, but they are not problems. The problems is we inside. What's inside? When we are out of control, then we will be controlled by the external conditions. If you can always, maintain, peaceful, and allow things to happen, you are able to free of any expectation. This person doing things very slow way, okay. This person wants to do things fast, that's okay. When people are doing things fast, and you are not, doing that way, it's kind of very challenging, And if someone is doing especially slow, and you are, you have a quick temper, or you want to get things done quickly, it's difficult. But it's okay, when you are living in a big monastery or in a bigger community, you have a chances to work with many different people. That's how you can develop your skills. That's how you can adapt yourself, to different conditions, right? If you always work with easy people, then you will be always you. But you don't realize that. We always want to, work with the easy people. We always want to have the easy jobs, and we always want to have control in time management. We don't have to rush. But then you will be always the same you. When you are working with the difficult people, when you have to finish the jobs in a very demanding, quick way, then you have to be flexible and allow that happen, and you can improve your skills. So I don't know whether I make sense to you. So in order to have a mind of a blending and according, you, first of all, for me, I think you need to be able to take challenges. Well, I think, um, we all have that kind of, task. Maybe sometimes, in our notice, sometimes we didn't really realize there is a test, and we just blow up. We just try to avoid, I'm a practitioner. I can practice calm, and I have my composure all the time. But when the things become difficult, I don't care. I just want to get anxious. I just want to, scold people. I just want to do things, I'm out of control. That's not cultivation. Cultivators, no matter what, you understand, everything is made from conditions. To blow up, does that help? So I think as a fellow cultivator, what we can do is we give that person support. I understand you are in a big pressure. Okay, I know it's become difficult, but you could do it. And this is hard because most of the time we'll say, how could you, be mad at me? How could you say that? And we will just react most of the time for ordinary people.
Okay. I just think if you treat your enemy as enemy, one will easy to enter into the three evil paths. If you treat your enemy as 陌生人, stranger, and you just as a normal person. If you treat your enemy as friends, you are a very good person on the cultivation way. If you treat your enemy as
a fellow cultivator, not enemy. She was talking about
and encounter a very working person, not a hard person. Okay, sorry. So sorry. Yeah.
So did I answer your question? So when someone is undergoing a task, a difficult time, then as a fellow cultivators, as a family members, as neighbors, as friends, we could always support and help to release, even though you don't know how to handle it, I still care about you. I still acknowledge you as my fellow cultivator. I will never change my relations with you no matter what, So that kind of support will help this person to feel a little bit at ease. And for me, I think everything is just a test to see what you do. A lot of time we don't know we are being challenged, and we would just act it out. So with someone as a good, wise advisor on the side, and would, give a friendly reminder, that will really help or support, give support. You could do it. You don't have to, blow up. You could do it. And it will work. Any other suggestions? I forgot to ask you first. Any other suggestions? You could tell from her, the way she talks, she's very soft. And I think for this fellow cultivator, he also need to realize that everybody is different, So the best way is that we have no expectation for anybody. He would not have expectation from you, and you don't have any expectation from him. And so just work, try your best. That's Venerable Master's motto. The reason why try your best will work is that because we all have a Buddha nature, we originally, fundamentally, we are all free. We are all at ease. We are all compassionate. We all have samadhi, right? 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 Fundamentally. But who knows how long, we have accumulated habits and karma. So that make easy, difficult, for people, everybody to be soft, to be compliant, to be able to blend and accord with the conditions. It's hard. So even though this person was upset, I understand, because the condition is not easy. If I were in his place, probably I will I will be worse. If you think that way, not pinpointing at him, then I think that's the only way out. It's all my fault. How come I didn't support him? How come I didn't cheer him up? How come I didn't, we always ask, what did I do in this situation? Did I help? Right? Husband and wife, maybe during your, in your interactions. I think in all kinds of relations, we have to remember, free of our expectations for other people, and ask ourselves, what did I do? Did I make any contribution to, smooth out this difficult situation for this person? Or did I put some more fire on it? Okay. So if you say, you should take this chance to develop your skill, to practice, then is that a pressure on him? Because you are not him. Maybe you welcome challenges, you welcome difficulties, but not everyone. It's just a lesson, did it work? Did it improve, make things better? If it didn't, then probably that doesn't work for that person. And if it works, some capable people, they could, function better when they are challenged. Did you find anybody like that? When they are under, big tasks, they have a very demanding task, they could function better. But not everybody. Some people, they need encouragement. Some people, they need, take time. So this is why it's in our cultivation, it's not easy. It's not just one way. It's not just one method. We have to try. And to be a bodhisattva is not really, really not easy. Do you have something to share? be mindful. If we are able to be mindful, we could be much more productive. The reason why we are stressed because we lost our mindfulness. We are anticipating something very difficult. It's all in our mind. So if we can free of that anxiety or that dissatisfaction or weariness, and just do one at a time job, and accomplish your goal. And if really that's too much for you at that time, then ask for help. That's my strategy. When we are mindful, free of any anxiety, free of our emotions, and focus. It's hard. I know it is hard. Okay, I failed many times, and probably I'm still being tested. Okay, so. Yep. Sure. We welcome questions. So what is his question?
So the fourth mind is the beneficial and making happy. So we have a lot of way to beneficial the living being, such as liberation life, practice giving, or share your experience to learning Buddhism to the people that you know, or someone encounter the difficulty, and then we share our experience in Buddha Dharma, and then helping them 帮他们解脱那种烦恼 yeah to solve the problem. Yeah. So I have a story about is the question already? No, yeah. Okay. So there is a story about the beneficial living being. If we want a beneficial living being, we also need to have a wisdom, because compassion mind, if we without the wisdom, sometimes we might do the wrong. So there is a lay person called Mr. Gao, and he is a boss for the oil company. So he is very rich. And he is Buddhism, so he is very compassionate to all of people, including his employee. So one of the employees borrow the money from him, right? 没讲错，借钱 yeah. So as I think it's 18,000. So he just give the money to him, and he opened he start to do the business, and it's very success, the employee. And few years after, the employee become a very rich man in the town. Then but this Mr. Gao, he's quite accountant, just told Mr. Gao, a few years ago you lend someone money, and then you should take it back. Then Mr. Gao say, oh, I already forgot this. So he just think, oh, this a few years ago, and then he just went to that person to ask for the debit, right? Yeah, the money. And then he say, do I owe you money? Yeah. So he already he totally refused to return the money. So the Mr. Gao is Buddhism, so he is very compassionate. He thinks that, oh, that's fine. If you don't want to return to me, that's fine. I just think that's a present gift to you. And then Mr. Gao is went back, but after this, maybe 1 or 2 weeks after, the person's employee during their 送货的过程 deliveries the things, and then there is car accident. Two car is entering into the water, so all of things are destroyed, and the two driver is dead. So this person, when this boss, right? This boss know this two driver already died. Then he's because he had the 赔偿 come.
He has to give the compensation.
Yeah, he have to and also he have to solve a lot of problem. Also have a lot of 损失 lost. Yeah. So finally he committed suicide. So that Miss Gao think that, oh, that is all my fault, because if I don't give him money and he don't have this problem. But sometimes we want to help a person, but we might with our wisdom to help them. So for the making people happy, we will have a lot of way to do it. So if people like do something, a bodhisattva always help them. So the next is okay. Is the question ready?
Maybe his question already answered.
Already answered.
It's his question, but he didn't type out, so maybe he already got his answer.
Okay. We hope everybody, don't hesitate to ask questions if you have questions. Okay. For this one, I can add a little bit. A mind of a service and making happy. Making happy, you could also say, is a serenity. When a mind of service that this person benefit others, benefiting others without erring, and how someone renders service. So we know, a lot of animals are treating not right nowadays, and people, they are willing to make contribution to their time and their energy and their money to accommodate all these poor animals who were illy treated. So there was this person who rescued like 4,000 more chickens abandoned by a Viet farmer, and the animals starved, for more than 2 weeks. and then later made a documentary. So Bodhisattvas not necessarily only render service to human beings, but all beings. They wish all beings could enjoy peace and have their well-beings. And one benefits oneself without erring. So when you are able to practice the right way, then you could have a serenity. The reason why this person are not happy, do not have that serenity, because the person, do the cultivation or not, like Tina said, not necessarily talking about Buddhists, but regular humans. If there's a person can discipline himself or herself, right, and have a very stable lifestyle, and do things according to the national laws flawlessly, okay, this person will be free of guilt or ill emotions. So for a Buddhist, not to mention Bodhisattvas on the fourth ground, a Buddhist, if you are able to cultivate on a regular basis. I didn't know about this, the benefit of have a regular practice schedule. And I heard when I was a layperson, someone went into a seclusion, and this person would just do things as he pleased. He said, I like writing calligraphy, I like to memorize sutra, I like to check in the, Buddhist canon, and however way I like, I just do it in my seclusion period. But then I thought, oh, wow, that's really, happy, that's a good thing to happen. But then when I study, learn, and practice under the Venerable Master, I realized to have a regular schedule is very important. You get up in the morning and do your 早课 morning practice, and be it a meditation or chanting or bowing or any all of them regularly. It will help you to develop your samadhi. You don't do it for one day and skip for 2 days, then that's not good. And so if you are able to cultivate regularly, you are developing your skill, your samadhi, and you participate in the ceremonies, and you hold the precepts purely. This is also very, very important. Precepts, a lot of people, they don't have the right view about precepts. They think practicing precepts, that's really not good. I will have no freedom. No, actually, I'm sure people here all know that precepts help us to get liberation. If you are able to, regard the precepts against the killing, then you will have peace. You have not create bad karma, and no beings will come to attack you or to hurt you, to influence your cultivation. So holding precepts help us to be free, to be liberated, to gain samadhi, and to attain wisdom. And if you are able to make time to meditate and slow down, to be mindful, you will have a lot of the moments to understand about yourself, understand about your work, understand about your relations with others, your relations with the world, all kinds of things. And then when you have more understanding, when you have a clearer picture about yourself, about others, about things, you will have a better clarity to deal with them. Most of the time, people don't want to deal with themselves because there are a lot of dissatisfaction, there are a lot of disappointment, there are a lot of anxiety. We don't know what to do about, and so we ignore them and we try to avoid them. But if you are able to meditate sometime a day, then that's really benefit yourself. Okay. And there's a project that we promote at the school for the high schoolers, is that 21 days complaint-free. And I asked them, how did you feel after 1 week? And a girl said, I realized all my comments were complaints. Like, oh, this is so hard. I feel so tired. Oh, it's so difficult. Right? They are all complaints. And if you are able to free of those comments and just focus yourself and take the task and develop your skills and face your difficulty and make progress. I think talking about to have a mind of service and have that serenity, I thought about the Venerable Master. He's really always, ready to serve, ready to help people, to make things easier for them. And I think, like for the 2 events in our monasteries, to honor elders and to cherish youth, this is something very important for us to practice in the West. Because honoring elders and cherishing youth is Confucian culture. People, grew up in the Chinese culture. We have that practice. We were taught since we were young, and we always yield to elders. We let elders to do things first, to take things first, and we yield to them so they can walk in front of us, and we yield to them so they talk about their experiences, they share things with us. We don't fight, with them. We don't talk ahead of them. And I think to practice these 2 events in the West make a lot of difference in the monastery for the members in the monastery. At least in their families, children learn to respect the elders, not just on 1 day in the year, but that become their habits. They will always, respect elders, and always give time, give chance to children. So that kind of beneficial mind comes from one's compassion and kindness. If we remember that's not just ourselves and have a mind to benefit others, this, no matter where you are in cultivation, you are practicing bodhisattvahood. We learn Mahayana tradition, it's benefiting others. We don't think about ourselves, and benefiting others is a very important element. Is there any question from the online? No? Okay. Feel free to ask questions. How about in the audience? Does anybody have any comments or questions or things to share that someone is could be our role model? Always render service and has serenity. Don't be shy. Don't be polite. I think every time I come here to have our board meeting and we could have a lunch here, and I think all of you, provide the food, or have that kind of a habit to give people happiness from food. Is that really important? It is, because they will always remember the food, so they come to the monastery. But they don't come to the monastery for food. They come to the monastery for Dharma. But food is also important. With the right food, we could have the good physical conditions, so we could, benefit. We could get benefits from our cultivation. Among our fellow cultivators, there's a nun. She really is a very eloquent speaker. Her job before she became a nun was MC in a radio station. And one time she won the reward for being the best MC in the country. And her skills to tell stories and make fun of herself is so profound. And everybody, when they listen to her talk, would laugh. And I think the reason why she could easily make fun of herself, because she wants people to be happy, to enjoy her talk. And that's something I think is a very good quality, and I admire her skills. But I think this is something in all our minds. If you have that wish, I want to learn that. I want to, be free to render service to anybody, at any time. And you will grasp that moment, okay? But at the same time, you can allow failures, even though you couldn't do it, the right way or successfully. But we need time to process, and we need time to develop our skills. So when you entertain a thought, I want to be, beneficial to others, and then you cannot be too compulsory. You have to allow conditions to. So when the conditions are not right, you shouldn't feel too disappointed. Okay, you shouldn't be too disappointed, because things, success takes time, and a lot of time we need to earn success. Success don't come just easily. Okay, so.
Also, if we want to benefit the living being, we have to know what things the living being need. If they need food, you give them clothes, they won't appreciate with you. If they need money, and you give them a book, they won't be appreciate you. So to know the living being's need is also very important for cultivate the beneficial mind. And if a bodhisattva do a lot of things, their mind may not contemplate. So the following is not is 无杂染心. This translation is not very good. Actually, 无杂 means one single mind, and 无染 means undefiled mind. So it just translates for one part, not all of it. So the 无杂 means one single mind. A lot of ways that we can practice the one single mind. You can
not scatter.
Not scatter, okay. Not scatter mind, yeah. we can recite a mantra or meditation, or you can recite the Bodhisattva's name to help us to concentrate. Nowadays, it's very hard for us to not scatter. Okay, my English was sorry. Because we have internet, right? We have a TV. We have a lot of things very interesting in this world. Ancient time, I think it's easier. The people minds, the way they're living is very simple and easy for one to cultivation. So now it's harder, but if we know the way to close our mind and our eye to the outside things, now we can help us concentrate on one's cultivation. So if we can close our mind, our eye, and our feeling to the outside, and we are easy to undefile, because there is a lot of information that us cannot come. Our mind will easy to infer the outside situation. So if we don't see too much, don't listen too much, and then it's easy for cultivation. This is my comment for this part.
Okay, so starting from this and undefiled mind, the 6 phrases address possible errors. A bodhisattva practice in the way, what kind of errors that may happen. So the commentaries from National Master Qing Liang use contrast to its opposite, and so to show the purity of the nature become apparent. The bodhisattvas, because of these 6 minds, practice these 6 minds, so they will, the purity of their nature become apparent. They are not doing the contrast. Okay, undefiled mind or not scattered mind, this talking about a practitioner counteracts the error of craving for benefit and being jealous about name, about fame. So when a practitioner is after name, this person can be jealous. And if this person is after fame, then probably this person will crave for food or for material things. Because I am capable, I am famous, so I deserve offerings, I deserve respect, and always craving for benefit. And because the name, and so this person are jealous, when somebody has more, has better achievement. So what it is talking about here, that means this bodhisattva on the 4th ground will be free from the perception of the self. Remember, earlier we talked about the bodhisattva already is able to free the view of the self. That's why, name and fame could be out of his or her mind. Is this difficult to do? Don't think it's difficult. It's hard, but we could do it. I give you the examples from our high school. Those girls who came to this school, they were unfocused and they were undisciplined, and they did poorly in all subjects. But often they are jealous of other students getting more attention from the teachers or better grades, rather than focus themselves on applying effort. They always, pay attention to whether the teacher always calling other people, doing something, or praising others, or talking about other people's paper, and they are so competitive to get good grades, to get attention, but they are not trying their efforts to learn the subject in a more deeper way, widely way. But you tell them this is not right, okay? As long as you try and you don't give up, you are willing to, study honestly, and you can succeed. There was one girl who came from Malaysia, and she was really behind. And a lot of subject teachers said, why we have this student? And then, but because one teacher really supported her and encouraged her, you could do it, try your best, and just, study from very little part. You learn a little bit, and you understand that little bit. This is a very simple story, but it's I think the principle behind it is very profound. One time, we were at HQ, and every Thursday, it was the garbage collecting day, and so on Wednesday we have to clean up, inside and outside. And that Wednesday, most people left. They have something to do, Only me was sweeping in the parking lot, and it was a windy day. So for those of you who have been at HQ, the parking lot is big. There are two parts, and all there was me. And I thought, how am I going to sweep clean these two parking lots? I was so anxious because of the wind. But then what I did was I just swept a little area in front of me. I just collect the leaves and then right away put them in the dustbin. And then I did next part. And very quickly, I finished sweeping. So what that means, if you are, craving for benefits, you're always thinking about the benefits and without thinking about what part you can do. What can I do in this task, in this situation? And like study Buddha Dharma, 3 canons, it's too much. And so then, we have an idiom in Chinese. It says, 望洋兴叹. You glance at the ocean and you sigh, how can you cross over? How can you cross this ocean? And but if you get a boat, if you get some tool, then you can cross. But most of the time, we are just being overwhelmed by the condition, and we don't know how to take the right action. So if you know to take a small step, a baby step, you can make a big progress because of that mechanism. Very small mechanism in your mind. I'm willing to try. I'm willing to do my best. And you can accomplish big. That's the lesson I learned. And that lesson, it's a small lesson, but make a big difference in my life. I could always relay any difficult situation and focus at what I need to do and forget about the anxiety, forget about my expectation, forget about other things. And so these teenagers, they were able to try their best, even though many subject teachers gave up her, this particular student, but she didn't give up herself. And so she made a progress, and gradually she want the respect from the teachers. So if we are able to not be scattered by the unfavorable conditions, not scattered by the challenges, and not scattered by fame and the name, the benefits, then you will be surprised what you could do. Okay, next one. A mind of seeking the very highest supreme Dharma. So this one cures the error of having little desire for merit. Some people, they say, the less trouble, the better. I'm a cultivator. I don't want to engage in many things. I don't want to create merit. Does that sound familiar? You know, that's too much. I just take care of myself. That's fine. Why should I bother to, care about his challenges, her difficulties? I'll just focus on my cultivation. That's good enough. So I don't want to create merits to help others. A mind of seeking the very highest supreme Dharma. This one cures the error of having little desire for merit. That is, not being inclined to practice giving, not to be inclined to practice ascetic practices, etc. And those, giving generate merit. And you say, this is too materialistic. I don't want to merit. Everything is empty. So you will miss the chance to practice the wholesome deeds, basically. And we know in Buddha Dharma we have to practice good deeds, and to the point that we will have myriad meritorious deeds, and so that we could become Buddhas. Buddhas don't, become Buddhas easily. They help limitless living beings. They don't care about merit, but that doesn't mean they don't do it. Okay, they offer help. So nowadays, a lot of people, they have this model. I don't care. They have that kind of attitude. That attitude, I don't care. A lot of times you will hear teenagers, they say, I don't care. When someone entertains an attitude, I don't care, not know that if you care, if you care, you can reach for the stars. You can realize your dream for achieving something big, like Buddhahood. You could become Buddha. But if you don't care about this, if you don't care about that, then you miss the chance. You will be the same old you. I was always inspired by my fellow cultivators. Some of them could be so diligent. They have we say, Guanyin Bodhisattva has 1,000 hands and 1,000 eyes, 1,000 ears. They don't have that many hands and ears and eyes, but they have at least 10 hands or 100 hands. Why? They want to help. They always, they always not decline any request. They ask for things to do. Do you know anybody like that? If you know anybody like that, you will be inspired by them, because they are not ordinary people. Ordinary people taking care of themselves. But people who benefit others, they always ask, what do you want? What can I help you? And because of that attitude, they care. They care a lot. And if they didn't do their best, they couldn't sleep well. If they didn't answer the students right, they will talk to them again, the second time, the third time. They never give up. They always want to motivate other people. They want to inspire people to do the same thing they can. And I have a fortune to have, to be exposed in these kind of a practice all the time. They care a lot. And because of they care, they create lots of meritorious deeds. And you look at the path, the history of that place, of that monastery, they are all their steps because of care. Anybody have a story of a caring? Yes.
She's always looking for what people need, what other people need. And she can't sleep at night if she doesn't do those things. And many things, she makes offerings at the temple, always looking for what is needed at the temple. And her whole life is this kind of caring. She cares a lot. Beautiful, beautiful. From a farming village in Vietnam. She's a beautiful person.
Thank you.
I know someone in Australia, and he's an Aboriginal person, came from New Zealand, and he learned the healing, pranic healing, and so because of his cultivation from the past life, he could see things, and he always help people who have a problem. Even though cancer patients, he didn't care. He just helped them. He healed them. One time, if it's not enough, he will do the second time, the third time. And he said, if I have merit, I'm willing to share that merit with those people so they could get cured. Okay, and most ordinary people, if they are healthy, they would be afraid to get the bad influence, bad qi from other people. They care about their good qi, but not this person. And he always ready. He has been always ready to serve other because he cares. He knows that everybody could enjoy well-being. Mahayana tradition is so vast and aspire to the highest because we all have Buddha nature. We all have the Buddha nature. Everybody can be free. Everybody can be happy. Even though, even the thought of the Bodhi resolve is uplifting, right? Bodhi, everybody can be awakened. And the thought that we can all become Buddhas. And so, we could, trust in our nature and uncover its this Mani jewel. And every time when I thought about Venerable Master, his untiring giving, unreserved giving the jewel, Dharma jewel. He said, as long as I have one breath left, I'm willing to speak Dharma. And that, during his last years, he really, demonstrate that spirit. One time in 1993 when he went to Taiwan, and one of the person in the audience couldn't bear to see Venerable Master's weakness. So he said, Venerable Master, I feel so painful to see you need to, come up to the stage on canes. And then Venerable Master threw his cane to off the stage, and he said, oh, I don't need that. But he was willing to, help all beings, even though, he had to use a lot of his energy. He didn't reserve anything because he cared. As long as I can be helpful, I'm willing to make it happen. So if anybody requests Dharma, and I'm willing to go and speak the Dharma, and I'm always, as long as I have something, I'm willing to share, and give me your suffering, and I treat you with my happiness, with my possessions. So he make that wish that everybody comes to the city of 10,000 Buddhas could have a share there. So that's the mind of seeking the very highest supreme Dharma. So for this one, you don't miss the chance to create merit. And so because of that, I think that will protect someone to be selfish and always taking care of personal benefits. You will always be mindful of other beings. And the next one is different because next one, a mind of seeking supreme wisdom. So this mind counteracts the error of not seeking supreme wisdom. From creating meritorious deeds, doing meritorious deeds, and then you move on to next level. You also need wisdom, not small wisdom. You want to see supreme wisdom. Why? Remember, on the third ground, the Bodhisattva, bring forth the Bodhi resolve to help all beings who are in suffering. And then those Bodhisattvas contemplate, how can I do that? How can I achieve that? And then they realize only with the wisdom of the Buddhas could do that. So they study the Buddha Dharma. And not only just studying the Dharma, but you want to seek supreme wisdom. And how could you realize the supreme wisdom? I think to practice the Bodhisattva path is a very important element, because in order to help all beings, you need to have that expedient means how to help this particular person. And then another expedient means to help another person. Everybody is different. Everybody's condition is different. Everybody's acceptance is also different. So what is the right way? The Bodhisattva will activate the inherent wisdom to develop that wisdom to the perfection. So a mind of seeking the very highest supreme Dharma and undefiled, unscattered mind, and with this one, these three minds benefit oneself. You stop doing evil things and you cultivate merit and seek wisdom. So if you are able to do this, practice these three things, then you are benefit yourself by purify your mind. By purifying your mind, so you remove a lot of the defilement, in your nature, and then you could make more further progress. Okay, I think that's enough for the study of the sutra text this evening. We apologize that we didn't make much progress, but hope that people have a clear understanding. Okay, we have an announcement for next week. It will happen at the place of the Bhikkhuni Sister Santusika, Karuna Buddhist Vihara. Dharma Master Han Chi from Dharma Realm Buddhist Association will go to lecture next Sunday at 2 o'clock. And it's a Dharma talk and also question and answer. Dharma Master Chi, who came back from Australia, she has been teaching at Bond University. She's the most senior Dharma Master Bhikkhuni in our institute. She's very experienced and love meditation, and she's very lively and dynamic. So I'm sure if you make a trip to Karuna Buddhist Vihara, you will learn a lot from Dharma Master Chi. Oh, it's in Millbrae. And you could get a flyer outside before you leave here. Okay, and there's a address and a phone number. Any questions from the audience or comments? Yes. Yeah. Right now she's in Seattle. Maybe one person can make comments. What you have learned this evening or what you didn't understand. Please share with us. Yes. The quote on the end. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
The last is if you treat your enemy as a benefactor, that you are as a sage. Yeah, you are really cultivate the Bodhisattva's way. But this is hard to practice. 没有人讲，是我想的。So, because 师父 say that 佛国的恩人就是世间的仇人，那世间的仇人就是你佛国的恩人。So that's 这个是给我的联想。Because if we really treat our enemy as enemy, we really easy to enter in the three evil paths. Yes. Defile enemy? Who are treat you very bad, or slander you, or want to enemy had another way, another 很多种 right? Many kinds of enemy, yeah. Mostly is against to you, yeah. 这个可以说是 enemy. So, what? Thinking what?
think enemy is only, is a name that used by ordinary people. We make distinctions, and we make distinction between friends and enemies. But in reality, there are no names. So the reason why we make distinctions because we have attachment, we have distinctions. So we label different people. Is that what you try to say? The reason why they are enemies because we project them, we label them. If anybody not sure about the definition of enemy, then probably you are in a very good situation, or you are in a very naive situation.
Before I remember in the Dharma Flower Sutra, I remember it say that every Buddha become Buddha because every Buddha has his Tibodhada. Tibodhada. So we need a good advisor to serve as like Tibodhada to help us to cultivate. We use Tibodhada as an example.
Yes, that's a good example. And Devadatta doesn't happen just one lifetime.
follows Buddha's many, many lifetimes. Okay, so yes. So you sleep in 1 hour less this evening. Okay, so we end quickly. We'll do transference. Our minds as one and radiated with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find a giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate